Hi, everyone. And hope you had a wonderful day and good evening, or hello on the replay, whatever time it is. I would like to just pop on for a little while to, again, let you know about the exciting opportunity at Adapter Life Academy called Carnivore Made Simple. But, before I get to that, I'd like to talk just a little bit about the difference between keto and carnivore and whether to switch or not to switch, and some factors that you might consider if you've never tried low carb or keto or carnivore. Then you may not know what we're talking about, but there are many folks who are already doing keto or low carb diets. And I have a lot of patients that I see who I instruct in how to do it. And they wonder, should I continue with keto or should I sample carnivore? And so that's what I'd like to talk about. Again, welcome. And I'd like to just pop on for a little while. And I think there'll be some time for questions and answers at the end. Again, we're very excited to open there's an open cart right now for Carnivore Made Simple at adapterlifeacademy.com. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Dr. Eric Westman. I'm an internal medicine physician, a clinical researcher, and founder of the Duke Keto Medicine Clinic. Yes, there's a keto medicine clinic, and I'm in Durham, North Carolina, where actually I've been about 35 years at Duke now. Over the last 25 years, I've helped thousands of patients use carbohydrate restriction to reverse chronic conditions like type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, obesity, and autoimmune issues. And they typically can reduce medications or get off them altogether. Carbohydrate restriction is the technical term. There's a textbook now. We contributed a few chapters to that textbook about carbohydrate restriction. So the field has come a long way in terms of the science that's been done, the credibility behind it, low carb, keto, and carnivore, in my opinion. Most people who find me are already familiar with keto. Maybe that's you. You might be one of my patients. You've tried keto, or maybe you're doing it now, but you've hit a wall. And I do see this in my clinic. And so tonight, I want to talk to you about keto versus carnivore, how to know when to switch, and whether you should switch at all. First off, keto versus carnivore, what's the difference? In my mind, because my method of keto, the one I've been using in my clinic for 25 years, is very low carbohydrate, protein forward, with generous amounts of fat, but not the unlimited fat that's promoted by some of the popular keto influences out there. And if you watch my channel, I of course remind you to always consider the source. If someone's not really using keto for the same reason you are, you want to be careful of their recommendations. The keto food list I use with my patients allows for a variety of foods, including dairy foods, leafy greens, and other non-starchy vegetables. Carnivore, on the other hand, is a stricter approach, that focuses entirely on animal foods, meat, fish, eggs, and often dairy, although some people remove that too. Like keto, carnivore is a type of elimination diet, meaning eliminates foods that can be problematic or troublesome or unhealthy. Carnivore removes all plant foods, which means it removes the common food allergens and plant compounds that can trigger inflammatory and even autoimmune responses in some people. If you've been doing keto for a while, but you feel like you're stuck, or like your body is still struggling despite eating all the right things, This may resonate with you. Maybe you've experienced stubborn digestive issues that improved on keto but never fully resolved. Maybe you have autoimmune flares that have decreased but still linger. Maybe the chronic fatigue or brain fog just won't lift. Maybe you still have uncontrollable cravings or hunger, even with very low carb foods. Or maybe you feel like your body is ultra stubborn and refuses to let go of extra weight, even when your food is on point. If any of these sound familiar, you're not alone. These are signals that your body may be reacting poorly to foods that are perfectly fine for other people. And when that happens, carnivore can often help to resolve these lingering issues when keto and even conventional medical treatments didn't take you all the way. I've seen carnivore diets help people massively improve their health, especially when nothing else has worked. It's really almost unbelievable, but it's true. So if you're still struggling on keto, even a well-formulated keto plan, it might be time to explore a more targeted therapeutic approach and understand the science behind the elimination of those last vegetable-based, plant-based foods. This week, I opened enrollment for my brand new course, Carnivore Made Simple. It's a step-by-step guide for anyone who wants to try a carnivore diet and do it safely, whether for weight loss, addressing stubborn GI or autoimmune issues, or simply as a reset to get back to the basics. When you enroll in the course, you'll get everything you need to start carnivore safely and confidently. You'll have a food list, a recipe guide, answers to all the most common questions about protein, red meat, fiber, salt, and other issues that come up all the time. You'll even get a guide to dining out on a carnivore diet. Yeah, that's right. You can have a social life on an all-meat diet. I'll teach you what you need to know about blood sugar, cholesterol, and other things you're probably concerned about. Plus, we've built in 2 weeks of live support in a private, student-only group to help you troubleshoot, stay motivated, and make sense of any transition symptoms you may experience. My team and I have it all covered, so you'll have everything right at your fingertips. You'll be equipped to implement this way of eating safely and successfully, so you can finally start feeling better and keep feeling better long into the future. Now here's the important part. Enrollment is only open until tomorrow, Monday, August 4th. After that, the course will close and it won't reopen until next year. So if you've been curious about carnivore, or if keto hasn't gotten you all the way to where you want to be, this is your window to get expert guidance and start with a solid foundation. You don't need to white knuckle your way through hunger or fatigue. You're not broken, and you're not alone in this. So if you're curious to explore carnivore safely and effectively, I invite you to check out the course. Head to the link in the description or go to adaptyourlifeacademy.com to learn more about the Carnivore Made Simple course and enroll before the end of tomorrow, Monday. Let's make this simple, doable, and effective for you. Join us and we'll help. I'd like to take just a few comments here, or a few questions, and as always, you're very welcome. This is my passion to teach and help people. The Keto Made Simple flagship course, we've taught now thousands, almost 10,000 people on the internet with that course, and so we're really happy and used to doing the online training. So let's see, a couple questions. So a lot of comments about the Nightshade Vegetables. These are the plants that can make havoc in your body, your intestines, And the idea of this talk tonight was really to try to choose, but if you're brand new to keto and carnivore, just welcome in. I mean, so a lot of people are entering through the carnivore doorway, so to speak, meaning you get into the low carb world. It used to be you would get in the low carb world through LCHF or Atkins or South Beach or Protein Power. Those are different names. It's basically the same approach that's been just used for hundreds of, well, some argue thousands of years. And it is, if you come through the carnivore door, you haven't started at all. I think this is a fabulous place to learn. And then in the course, we can teach you more about the low carb living, and you can decide whether you want to do carnivore as a therapeutic approach, short-term thing, or a long-term lifestyle change, actually. So Darlene, there are many ways to do a carnivore diet, and we introduce the different variations on a theme, if you will, kind of like classical music. If it's classical music, it could be Bach, it could be Beethoven, it could be Brahms. So in the different types of carnivore diets, I don't think there's one right answer. And so you really want to find the right answer for you, and we can help you do that. So some people do have the dairy and cheese, and others find that they are not able to have it. And so we can help you through figuring that out. Great. And let's see. I think for any kind of autoimmune issue like Hashimoto's, rheumatoid arthritis, Crohn's, ulcerative colitis. Even I have some people lately who are coming to me and they have this kind of unusual, it's called an undifferentiated connective tissue disease. And, so they don't put you into a certain category, but this all can improve. And the elimination diet of carnivore and keto, I think, is what's going on. So there's something in that world of carbohydrate that is causing these autoimmune issues. And the reason we say that is that, a keto doorway, keto or carnivore doorway. You could come in to this world of low carb and keto through the carnivore doorway as well. I'm afraid in my clinic these days, there are a lot of people coming into the weight loss world and diet world through the medication doorway, and they're not being told anything about the food, which is sad and sometimes unhealthy. So remember, just your public service announcement tonight is be sure protein comes first. So let's see, JV, are there any concerns with gut bacteria? No, in fact, this fixes most problems with gut bacteria. Dysbiosis and keto. Well, so the clinics now have popped up, and I spoke to a clinic director and doctor at a recent meeting in Europe where they're seeing lots of small bowel overgrowth of bacteria. And carnivore is basically the basis of the diet that they use to fix the chronic gut dysbiosis. So someone asked me recently about what carnivore does to the gut bacteria, and I just it calms it down. So not to worry. Just because it's different, a lot of people will say it's wrong. Or so DPS Striker 333. Humans are not obligate carnivores. We're omnivores. Well, so yeah, I agree. So you could be carnivore. So omnivore means you could be herbivore, and some people can eat a vegetarian type diet and get all the protein and nutrients that you need and be healthy. Some can't. I think carnivore is intriguing because the health of carnivores in the wild is extremely healthy. I mean, they don't get the chronic diseases that humans get until you put them in the zoo or contain and then feed them the carbs. Yeah, I think, but in the course, I'll go over how an internal anatomy of a human is more like a carnivore than an herbivore. And I mean, it's so obvious, just looking at a picture, you'll see. So, I'm thinking that if there was one or the other, I would choose to be a carnivore rather than an herbivore. But technically, I think you're right. Humans can be omnivores. And yet you want the best way of eating that matches your metabolism. And it may be that while you could be one or the other, you want the one that makes you healthiest, I think. And that, I can be the doctor who can help you figure out which one's healthiest, not just the one that the foods you like, that food set. Some people are flexible in the food that they choose. And so carnivore may actually be a healthier option, but it's an open question. Let's see. A couple other questions, great ones. Thanks for joining. Are there any therapeutic benefits to be in a higher state of ketosis? Possibly, but I don't know for sure. And what I try to do with my academic life and clinic and YouTube channel is try to stay as evidence-based as I can. And until there are a lot of anecdotes assembled and published or a strong signal scientifically, I really can't say certain things. I don't want to. I want you to know that my communication and what I sign off on as being safe and effective and good, but I don't think it's to the level that I want to be able to say that everyone should be in ketosis or a higher level of ketosis is necessarily better. There are some studies going on that might suggest that, and these days you can see the researcher or even some of the research participants online and hear their stories, but that's not enough. It doesn't tell you the denominator of all the people who tried it. So, some benefits might be there, but you want to know how likely it is that it would help you out. So I don't yet think that everyone needs to have a ketone monitor and make sure that they're in a certain level. Although a lot of people are doing that, I don't think we've collected and published and vetted and evaluated that information yet to say, everyone should be measuring ketones and being in ketosis. I know there are other influencers who say that, but I think those are more like early adopters, if you will. So Bride's Biscuit eliminated oxalates by going carnivore, but can protein become a concern for kidney stones? I think the main thing early on to prevent kidney stones is hydration. So especially if you have a history of kidney stones, you want to make sure you're hydrated during the transition period for any kind of diet, especially if you're going from eating carbs to not eating carbs at all. You want to make sure you're getting plenty of sodium, salt, and water. And if you have a history of kidney stones, I would even ask that you add more water to keep the urine flowing to prevent the kidney stones. I don't think it really is an issue of the protein. If you had one or two kidney stones, you'd probably be referred to a kidney stone clinic. And most of those doctors will advise that you take something, a potassium citrate kind of formulation as a preventative. But I think hydration is the main thing. But if you do have recurring stones, I think you should be evaluated by a specialized clinic, and they'll measure to see in the urine what's there. And I have many, many people on keto diets, carnivore diets, who are fine without kidney stones. They even may have had a history of them. So good. Let's see. Would this be helpful, Christy? Would this be helpful for postmenopausal 55-year-old that gained 20 extra pounds after spinal fusion surgery? I feel so stuck. Absolutely, Christy. This would be perfect. And I think, again, we will teach you the basic principles of metabolism of low carb diets. Carnivore is a subset of low carb and keto diets. So it's not all that far afield from what I've been using and teaching and seeing in my clinic, in research and clinical setting for now 25 years. So good. Well, again, thank you for coming out and watching tonight. And I guess the last question: how much protein do you need to consume? You know, goodness knows. I don't know. And the experts that say they do know, you know, realize they're trying to just be the expert. When we teach doctors to take an exam on obesity, we teach 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of lean body mass. And that's the answer for the test. But in reality, we have much more flexibility than that. And what is really the new science of all of this is that the body is able to do well without as much protein as was once thought. And then the circumstance is really important. Are you young and fit and in the gym and trying to gain muscle mass? Are you older, trying to maintain and you can't exercise? So the idea that there's one size fits all for protein is just not true. Let's see, how do we fix, how do we fix linguistic alino? How do you fix intestinal permeability, leaky gut? Carnivore does that. So low carb diets do that as well, keto as well. And then, so depending on the type of keto diet, you can have lime, you can have coffee. If you want to be, strict purist, I'm not going to have anything that a lion can't have. It's called the lion diet. Then you wouldn't have coffee, and you would get ultra worried about the plant source of coffee beans. No. So I take a more macro view, a holistic view, rather than focus on the minutia. And the other thing is that, having followed people who've done this for so long, I have a good sense of the wiggle room that one might have. Let's say you're traveling, you can't stay on the plan, you do the best you can. And so there's no, you don't destroy all the progress that you've made if you do the best you can. So great. Well, again, thank you. Let's see. Well, then, yeah, cake and Oreos are not carnivore. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. That's how we always get some funny questions. Awesome. So, well, if you wonder what carnivore is, or at least the academic version of it, come join the course. Again, the Carnivore Made Simple class at Adapt Your Life Academy, my company that's been teaching online now for many years. We are happy to be able to announce that it's open now, and it's open only until Monday night, which is tomorrow night. Tonight's Sunday night. And I hope to see you in the class. We have fantastic administrators who are trained and at the ready to help you get started and to understand what's going on. So this is really kind of a special opportunity where you not only get the information, but you get the support to get started all at the same time. Again, I'm Dr. Eric Westman. I'm an associate professor at Duke University, and it's my pleasure to be able to let you know that this course is now open for enrollment. Hope to see you inside. Bye now.